All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, stop with what you're doing, stop with what you're saying, sit down and stop with what you're playing, baby. Stop the games that you're playing and just listen to me. Listen to the podcast legend, aka the King of Stutter Style, aka the one that likes to smile style on profile, aka the one you can't stand, son. That is Mr. Stutter in the Bank, Brother Martin. And I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to the latest edition of Baptized Fire with Brother Martin. And I just want to say once again from the bottom of my heart that I'm sincerely sorry about making a little teeny tiny promise and not following through with it because, sometimes shit happens and I can't control it. So basically, what the deal was I promised everybody that I would show up and throw up and show out last night and do a show. And I just want to say that working a full time job and dealing with family and just dealing with life in general, sometimes shit happens, and you're tired. So literally, what happened is when I got home last night, I completely passed out. I was so exhausted that like within the past week or so, like the honest truth is, I haven't had very much good sleep. So I took the opportunity when I got home and I went straight to bed. So just let people know because I've gotten messages from people. Hey, wait a second, Chris. Why weren't you on the show last night? Why didn't you, show up, show out? Well, guess what? That was for the fact that I been working so much that I just honked out. So that's the truth behind why I didn't do my show last night. And I just want to let everybody know too that there's certain things that have been said that I'm going to address because, quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of crap being said. Also, I'm going to talk about some things, that God's put on my heart to really get out there. And you know what? Which I hope and pray that this show is something that can really help others. You just help others when it comes to whatever you're going through, no matter who you are, no matter who you're with, and no matter what you're going through, I just want to let you know that you're beautiful and that you're wonderfully made. God's got a purpose for you waking up. God's got a reason for you breathing right now. And I just want to let you know that for the people that wake up and they think to themselves, God, this is another day to where that that I got to deal with crappy circumstance. I'm just gonna let you know the beautiful thing is with those circumstances, you have the ability to turn them around. You have the ability to change your life for the better. And God gives you those abilities, God gives you those blessings, and God gives you those gifts to do it. So this is the thing that I want to let people know because a lot of people they say to me, Chris, I haven't prayed about things, and you know what? God hasn't answered my prayers. And I'm just gonna let you know right now. God does answer prayers. He does more often than you realize. But this is the thing. You got to realize that sometimes whenever God answers your prayers, you're in a position to where you don't want to hear what he has to say because sometimes it's what God wants and not what you want. So sometimes you treat it as if God didn't answer my prayers, so I'm just going to move on and just move out on that. So just to let you know, just because you don't get what you want during that particular time, moment, or second, that doesn't mean that God's not there listening to you because this is the thing is that whenever you want something bad enough within your life and you're striving for it and like you're working hard for it and things aren't working out for you, you got to think to yourself, okay, now does God really want me to have this? Does God really want me to use this? Does God really need me to spend my time on this thing that I want? Because this is the thing, guys. With the time that we're given here on earth by God, we're not only meant to serve him, but we are also supposed to serve loved ones. Like we're meant to set a great example for the rest of our fellow humans, our family, so to speak, to follow. Because this is the thing about it is that if what you're doing is not working, and you keep doing, but like you keep failing, sometimes that means that you're not meant to do it and you're supposed to seek something else. You're supposed to seek truly what you're meant to do, because sometimes what you like to do, sometimes that is different than from what you're meant to do. Because like for me, like the God honest truth, which I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. That which I had two dreams growing up, and one of them was to join the military. And like the thing about it is that, like to me, with the exception of serving God, there is no greater honor than serving your country. I'm a firm believer in that. And to me, the men and women that serve, like the men and women that go above and beyond, they are like superheroes to me, because they're the ones that sacrifice, and they're the ones that help when it comes to giving me the freedom and giving so many of us the freedom to speak the way we speak, live the way we live, and do what we do. And a lot of people, they take that for granted with the sacrifice that these men and the sacrifice that these women make. And I just want to say that I wanted to go into the service so badly. I did. And I wanted to go in to be a chaplain's assistant. So, so essentially, what that is the that's a person that helps the pastor within whatever branch that you choose to go in. He's basically like the person that helps the pastor. And he helps like with setting things up and this that, and let's say like the pastor, he can't show up and do certain things. Well, that's where you step in. And what I wanted to do was go in to be a chaplain's assistant, and then move up being a chaplain. But whenever I went in for the physical, right after I took the ASVAB, um, they said the ASVAB test is fantastic. You did great on that, but we got two issues. And I'm like, okay, okay, what's that? They said that you failed the hearing test, and you also have issues when it comes to your neck and your spine. We discovered spinal stenosis within your neck and spine, and degenerative disc disease. Also, we found a record stating that you had reconstructive surgery on your left eardrum, which was true, because when I was like 10 years old, which I ruptured my left eardrum. And that was partially due to when I was younger, I had tubes put in my ear because I had severe hearing issues. And the tube within like my right ear, that fell out, but like the tube within like my left ear, that one didn't. So basically, what happened was, which it got stuck within my ear. Skin grew over it, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know whether you call that skin within your ear or what the hell the deal is. Whoever knows, let me know. And which essentially the body recognized that as a foreign object, and it started to an infection started within my ear. So I um didn't want to bother my parents with it. So, with like these little ear rakes, I didn't think much of it. And then it got to the point one night where I was in so much pain that I had to go to the hospital. And I remember the day, it was December 20th, 2002. And my mom and dad, like, they brought me to the hospital, which it was Sinai Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. And my doctor said to me, your left eardrum is completely ruptured. Like, there's blood all in it. How have you been able to go this long with a ruptured eardrum? And I said, well, I really didn't think much of it, which I just kept taking like the freaking ear drops. I kept taking like the Tylenols, whatever you want to say, like to help with the pain. And like the doctor said, like, we need to reconstruct it right now, because this left eardrum, you will eventually lose all your hearing if we don't fix this right now. So, which I had hearing issues because of this to begin with, but I was too damn stupid to say anything. And I was too freaking prideful. And what happened was I didn't want to bother my parents because they had to deal with enough shit right as it was. So I got the operation. I got my left eardrum. It was reconstructed. Basically, what they did was they took uh they took fatty tissue from like the back of my earlobe here, and they put it in my eardrum. And like they used that to help reconstruct my eardrums. So I went from nearly being deaf 100% to now, which I have like about 60% hearing, like within like my left ear, which is better than nothing. And it could have been better if I would have been smart enough and not so damn stubborn, and I would have said something. So, with what I'm trying to say with this point is that sometimes whenever stuff's getting worse, we're so stubborn to where we don't say anything and we just assume that we should continue to go on and on and on, like with what we're doing, like it's okay, when in fact it's not. We need to recognize that there's something wrong and that we need to address it, and we need to figure out, okay, what's the best course of action for this. So I just want to say that with certain people within my life, sometimes you're not meant for certain things that you feel like you are. Sometimes God doesn't answer those prayers the way you want him to answer them, because you're not meant to do things the way that you think. You're supposed to live life the way God has mapped it out for you. Now, how you figure that out, that's on you. But I tell that, but 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 I tell people that every single day, that if you want the best within your life and you want to live life to the fullest, call the big guy upstairs. He's got the directions for you. He's got the layout for you, and he'll give you the best possible life that you could imagine, because you know what? Who better to go to than the one who made you? Who better to go to than the one that made every single one of us, every single thing, every single breath we breathe, every single person that we love, every single building we walk into, every single thing we can imagine. It all starts with him. And people are like, wait a second, Chris, the whole building thing. By God, God's got to make the person who builds the buildings so we can walk into the buildings. So I'm just telling you this right now. It all goes back to him. And I know that was a silly example with the buildings, but regardless, I just want to tell you this right now, that sometimes you're not meant to do what you feel like you're supposed to be doing, because the heart sometimes can be deceiving, and your heart can be really off track from what God wants you to do with your life. And it sucks and it's scary sometimes, because you think to yourself, I've invested so much time, I've invested so much passion into this, and it's not working out. And it sucks. It really, really does. But I just want to let you guys know, the beautiful part about it is, with what you are going through, you're not going through it by mistake. God lets you go. God lets you go through these things sometimes to realize, okay, there are certain things that I have to learn from this. So when I get to where I need to be, that I am ready, that I am prepared, and there's certain tools that were given to me during that time that I wasn't supposed to succeed, that I could use for where I'm at, to where I'm going to succeed. So every single person seeing this, you're meant to do great things. You're meant to succeed. You're meant to rise up. You're meant to thrive. You are meant to completely change the world. You're meant to make a dent. You're meant to make a rapid, amazing, hurricane like effect that's going to just completely bowl over every single person you come in contact with, because I believe, once again, that the fact that you woke up this morning, the fact that you're here, that you have a divine reason, you have a divine purpose, you are here by divine design, and you're not here by mistake. Now, whenever it comes to how you carry yourself and how you act, God's going to reward you with accordance to how you treat others and with accordance to how loyal you are to him and how you follow him. And for me, I firmly believe that, because for me there's times where God's punished me to where things didn't go my way because I recognized that I wasn't treating people the way like I should. And that was a lesson learned for me, which I've done this a few times. We all have. But it's a matter of us recognizing, hey, there's times where we need to grow. There's times where we need to show that that that's okay to be wrong. That's okay to make mistakes. That's okay to be vulnerable, because nobody's perfect, and we all fuck up. We all make mistakes, but it's what we do with those fuck ups. It's what we do with those mistakes that really display the character that we have, or lack thereof, because a lot of people, they walk around like they're God's gift to the world and that they're never wrong. I hate to break your heart, but you're going to be wrong more often than not. And like I said on my last show, if you are thinking that you're the smartest person within the room, that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, because there's always somebody smarter than you. There's always somebody that knows more than you, and there's always somebody that has experienced more than you. So the best thing you can do is to stop talking so much and start listening more. Start listening to people that can add to your life. Start listening to people that can give you knowledge that will help you when it comes to, okay, the next time that I go through this person went through a similar situation, and this is how he handled it. So because of what he went through, this is how yours truly should handle it. So I'm just saying, guys, I've been dealing lately with people that think that they know everything, that think that they're God's gift to the world, and they think that they are perfect and they should not accept help, and they think that they have it all figured out, when in actuality statistics and people close to them are stating the opposite truth. And that's whenever you get into the world of absolute delusion, okay? Because sometimes there's people that have such big ego, so to speak, that they think, I'm perfect, I'm not wrong, and I really need to point out the fact that every single person that I come in contact with, they're complete dipshits, they're complete dumbasses, and they have no clue what they're talking about. So I just want to say to the people out there, because you know who you are, if you think that you really know everything and you figured out life and you know all the answers, well, God bless you. Last time I checked, the only person that had life figured out and that was perfect was Jesus. So unless you're on his level, I would suggest you to sit the fuck down and to get back in line with the rest of us, because there's a lot of people that behave like that within that manner. And which I just want to say to the people that want to be smartasses and they want to call me a podcasting legend and all that, because they're being sarcastic, and they want to claim that I'm being downright delusional with certain things. Quite frankly, this proves my point that unless you walk a mile in my shoes, then don't pass judgment, because you're not perfect yourself. And for me, I am a very, very laid back guy. I'm very open, I'm very honest, and I'm very sarcastic, to where that I like to joke around. And if anybody wants to literally run their mouths and say things like that, with all due respect, seriously, get a life. It's not worth you wasting so much time and wasting so much effort on me or other people, because quite frankly, it's not worth it. Like I keep telling people, the fact that you wake up, the fact that there's air within your lungs, you have a purpose, you have a divine reason why you're here, and you shouldn't be wasting time on others who aren't adding to your lives. Because if someone's not adding to your life, then love them from a distance and move on. That's what a lot of people fail to do, because instead of loving from a distance and moving on, they have a tendency to dig in deeper and deeper and deeper, thinking that by doing so, by dogpiling, by passing constant judgment, that they're going to be that they're going to be justified in how they feel, and they're going to feel so much better about themselves. Well, the thing about it is that, you know, with all that negativity, you're eventually going to get to the point to where, like, you're never going to be satisfied, and you're constantly going to be searching for that feeling of satisfaction and gratification. But and guess what? I hate to break your heart, but you're never going to find it. You're never going to find that peace, joy, peace, joy, and happiness through hatred, through anger, through rage, through revenge. You're not going to find it, because that's a sad, miserable place to be. I promise you. I was there, and recently, hell, like, which I've been open about this, within like the past year, I've been there quite a few times. And God's kind of taught me, hey, you don't need to do that, because you're making room within your heart for things that won't add to your family, won't add to your life, won't add to your work, won't add to your relationships. Because when it comes to anger, rage, and hatred, that seeps over to things like relationships, friendships, work, you name it. Because eventually what's going to happen is, with things like things like addictions, things like anger, rage, hostility towards others, that's eventually going to seep over, because you're going to become so consumed with that the people that you truly care about the most, they're going to be what's the word? They're not punished, but like they're going to be you're going to not be able to give them 100% of who you are, and it's not right. So if there's somebody within your life that you're consumed with when it comes to rage, hatred, and anger, and yet that they're not adding to your life, my suggestion is just let it go. Just pray for that person and move on, because it's not going to help you. Because eventually, what's going to happen is that you're going to neglect. That's the word. Neglect the ones that care about you the most. And it's not a fun thing to deal with, because I did the same thing. I did. When it came to certain struggles of mine, I neglected my wife, I neglected my children, and it really did not help matters. When I finally chose to get help, when I finally chose to call on God, that's when everything started to get better. And now I'm seeing how important, not that I didn't see it before, but sometimes God needs to kick you right in the ass to remind you again of what's really valuable within your life, what's really important within your life. And for me, like, the two most important things are God and family. And I just want to say that right now. If God and family aren't the two most important things within your life, then you need to really check your priorities, because quite frankly, there's something wrong there. There really, really is. And this goes to my point, to where last month I sent out an open invite to people to rectify their feelings towards me. Whether you loved me, whether you hated me, whether you were my worst enemy, my best friend, it doesn't matter. What I did was I stuck my hand out, and I said, in which I essentially said to these guys, please be real men, and please talk to me and let me know why you feel the way you feel. And if we can fix this, awesome. But if it gets to the point to where we can agree to disagree, so be it. but I will respect you a hell of a lot more, even if you don't like me, if you are man enough to really talk to me. And which I've had about 8, 9 people so far that have reached out to me. That that have been man enough to say, "Hey, Chris, uh, that I have really been screwed up with how I feel about you, but now I see that it was due to me believing a bunch of bullshit that was completely nonsensical and not true." And which I'm sorry. And I just want to say to those people once again, thank you for being man enough to really talk to me, because that really made a world of difference. And now, through that happening, certain people, they're starting to see others who strongly dislike me, that they're starting to see where they could have been if they would have continued to be the hateful idiots that they were. And this is gonna really be something that I'm gonna talk about, because there's a lot of people, they've been messaging me. They're like, "Hey, wait a second, Chris, you got to address it soon enough. You got to talk about it, because like you took your show down within like a day of you posting the last one, and that's true. Uh, and for the people that don't know what I'm talking about, I posted a show, I think it was like a week and a half ago. And I just want to let people know that want to run their mouths and say that I was like my show was taken down for hate speech. You're a complete idiot for that, because that was not the case whatsoever. Which, as a matter of fact, the person that I was addressing, which was Mr. Rob, um, Mr. Rob Francois, the rad one, basically what happened was my show, I was a little bit angry, and which I said that I would apologize eventually, because I'm a decent human being that actually feels bad when I go off the deep end. Which I kind of went off the deep end, and I kind of got to the point to where I was calling out Rob, and I showed his personal records. And the thing about it is that, um, to the people that want to continue to run their mouths and claim that the show got taken down because of hate speech, um, that was not the truth whatsoever. Like, the truth about it is that Rob contacted me, and he went off on me. Uh, uh, this, that, the other, which I could post a full conversation for you, but I'm not going to be a dick like that. And what I basically said to Rob, which Mr. John, whenever John and Rob have their showdown, he's gonna re reiterate this fact, be, just in case no one believes me. The fact is that I told Rob that if he were to keep my name out of his mouth and the name of John out of his mouth, then I will gladly take the video down. And I told John this, and John, he agreed to it. Um, and even when I took the videos down, which I did, which I still have copies of, by the way, and I can repost them anytime I want, he kept going on and on and on and on. And the thing about it is that he couldn't find anything of me when it came to like my background check, which everybody, which I'm sure there's a bunch of people that did background checks on me. Um, the funny part about it is that he couldn't find anything on me. So what he did was he tried to retweet an old tweet from a couple of years ago, when it came to a certain medical issue that that I was dealing with, um, and quite frankly, I'm not going to rehash it, because I've already addressed it publicly. And if anybody wants to know about it, you're more than welcome to download and go through my Inspired with Christopher library, because in one of those episodes I did talk about it. Because quite frankly, it's not worth me wasting my time to rehash shit all over again. So basically, what it came down to was he couldn't find shit on me, so he's bringing up an old tweet that, quite frankly, it doesn't fucking matter in the grand scheme of things. And not only did he bring up did he bring up an old tweet, but he also threatened to release my wife's records, which which I know for a fact that you guys did a record search on her. It was months ago, and I know for a fact that you guys probably had this shit set back for something like this to happen, and which I've already been open about this, and which I've already been honest about it, and like the God honest truth is, if you really want to bring my wife into this because you can't stand the fact you can't find shit on me, that's a sad reflection on you wasting time on things that really don't matter. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to be honest with you. And the fact that when it comes to your family, Rob, which I've literally said nothing but positive things, when it comes to your child, and when it comes to your wife, literally all I've ever said was, hey, you need to focus on what's most important, like within your life, because you know what, and your wife and child, they deserve nothing but the best from you. And that's essentially all all that I've said when it comes to your family. And the fact that you want to bring my spouse into it, that's not cool. And which I've already had my words about that, and which I'm not going to go into detail, because quite frankly it wouldn't be appropriate for this format. So this is the thing, is that for the ones that want to stick up for Mr. Rad Rob, and which I sincerely want nothing but the best for the guy, which I pray that he sees the light one day, that he realizes that the two most important things within his life are God and family, and that he focuses on them more rather than trying to please a bunch of strangers. I really feel that he has the potential to do that. He's a smart guy, he's talented, but he gets his feelings hurt way too easily, and he needs to really focus on what's important. So, which I just want to say this, that for what I did, which the show did not get taken.
If somebody's googling me, they have no damn life.
Oh yeah, and that's the God honest truth. That if people got to search your background because they can't find shit on me, then that's a sad reflection that they have no life. You're right. So yeah,
No offense.
you're right, sweetie. And no offense. What you've done, you were hurting yourself. You weren't hurting others.
Yeah.
There's a difference. So yeah,
Right.
just saying that in general, that
Don't get me wrong, I whoop people's asses, but I never been to jail for it.
that's true. So the thing about it is that when it comes to that, that if you have to lower yourself to doing background checks when it comes to my spouse, when it comes to my wife, that's a reflection, and that's something that should teach you. Wait a second, this is going way too far. That 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 if I really don't like this guy, then I just need to move on and just once again focus on what's important, which is God and family. And I really, which I could react in anger, rage, and be a complete dickhead about this, but you know what? God doesn't want me to do that. So what I'm going to say right now is that, Rob, that after this showdown that you're going to have with John, I pray that it opens your eyes to what's really important within your life, because I know that I'm saying this over and over, but I'm trying to reinforce this. What's important, because you're not promised tomorrow, and with the day that you're given, make sure that you're doing right by your family. Make sure that you're doing right by God. Make sure you're doing right by the ones that care for you the most. And if you,
It's lightning outside.
all right, sweetie, I got you. And so, like, for people out there, which I'm just going to tell you this right now, which I'm going to be man enough to say this, that I shouldn't have done that with the last episode. And that's why yours truly took it down. And it wasn't because of hate speech. And I, and, but it was because I sincerely felt bad about it. So that's the truth about that. And I want nothing but the best for you, Rob, which I pray that whatever's said between you and John, that's it, that you guys squash the shit and you can move on, because dude, this isn't healthy. This obsession with us, it's not healthy. You guys need to, like, seriously move on. Like, whenever people are that I don't even know are randomly messaging me and they're calling me and like they're calling me names, but they don't even know me. That's where things have gotten to the point to where it's downright silly, sad and pathetic. It's time to grow up. It's time to be a grown adult and do grown adult things.
Kind of hard
So
to be an adult whenever you don't know how to act like one.
sweetie, I understand
Just
that.
saying. I don't care if it hurts feelings or not. I don't care.
I know that. I know that. So I'm just saying this right now, Rob, that as long as I am breathing, and people can run their mouths and think what they want, but I will never release that episode again. I won't, because I sincerely felt bad about that, because I realized that that was beneath me, and that was just my anger coming out. And there was somebody else that was on the show that I addressed, Mr. Kevin McElroy, Mr. Trollmark. Um, and I said during that episode that I have an open door policy, which I do. I do have an open door policy within my show. And I'm willing to have anybody on here that wants to have a valid discussion, and whether they want to behave within a respectful manner, then that's cool with me. Now, if you're going to act like a dick, then don't even bother coming on my show, because I'm not going to tolerate that. But I just want to say to Mr. McElroy that I feel kind of bad about what I did with going on your Twitter live and, liking the stuff and this and that. And it's very obvious that there's something going on within your life to where you feel like you have to latch on to negativity, to where you got to try to tear people down to make yourself feel better. And I'm going to still tell you that you can come on my show, but I'm going to try to talk to you within a respectful manner, and we could try to figure this out to why you feel the way you feel. Because when, quite frankly, you've never met me, and I've never met you, so it was wrong for what I did. Yes, and yes, I feel bad about that. And which I sincerely hope for nothing but the best for you. The same goes for Corey. The same goes for Eli. The same goes for every single person that wants to run their mouths. Uh, the uh, uh, the the Chris Karam guy, I want nothing but the best for him. The guy don't even know me, but he seemingly hates my guts. But it is what it is. Which I'm sure, which if the guy, if he actually got to sit down and talk to me, that which I could change his mind pretty damn quick. But I sincerely want nothing but the best for you guys. And I want for you guys to figure out why you feel the way you feel and get to the core of needing to address the issues that you have when it comes to getting joy from being so damn angry and hateful. Because you know what? That's not healthy and that's not good. And the fact that that I felt so bad when it came to my last episode that I took it off because I knew that that wasn't me, and which I was respectful enough like to take that shit down. That should tell you that if he can do it and he could take shit down because he felt bad about it, because he knew what he did was wrong, then you should be able to do the same. So I hope and pray that we can get to that point to where you guys can get there. And for the people out there that want to be the go-between, that want to pretend that they're cool with both sides, but yet like they're feeding information to the other side, I just want to tell you right now, that's not a way to live either. Because this is the thing, and this is the sad part about life. You know, sometimes you can't be on the fence. You got to pick one side. You know, because
right is right, wrong is wrong.
yeah, because right is right and wrong is wrong, and it's kind of like you have two extremes. You got the left extreme, the right extreme, and no, I'm not talking about politics right now, but you have the two extremes on both sides to where you can't justifiably say that you're okay with both ends. I'm sorry, but life doesn't work that way. You're either on one end or you're on the other. So for those people that want to contact me and they want to claim that they're all buddy and pals with me, but yet they're constantly dogpiling me on Twitter, I just want to say for them that I pray for you that you can actually grow a pair and stop with the bull crap, with like the bull crap facade that you're putting on, like with claiming that you're buddies with everybody. No, dude, come on, just stop. Just stop.
You're a shit starter.
Yeah, a shit starter. So I just want to say that it's time for everybody to man up, grow up, and show who we really are. Show who we're meant to be and do what we're meant to do within this life, because you know what, like I said, life's too damn short to continuously fight like children, to banter back and forth, to fight like cats and dogs. And you know what, we need to set a great example for the younger generation when it comes to when it comes to our kids, when it comes to, let's say you don't have kids but you have nieces, nephews, or whoever like within your life. Do you really want to be fake with them, and you want to put on a facade that you're such a great guy, but yet you spend your days trashing other people? Or do you actually want to be the legit representation, and you can tell them that you behave like within a certain manner, and yet you are who you are? Oh yeah, and Jeff, he made a very good point here. You don't have to be friends with everyone to be decent and try to seek positive interactions. And Jeff, brother, you were right about that, like 1000%. Because the thing about it is that you ain't got to be best friends with people by no means. But we need to be civil, and with being civil, we need to be real. We need to be authentic with how we speak, and not tell people what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. And don't tell them what they want to hear and then go tell someone else something different. It's not right. Because if you're going to say one thing to me, then I expect you to say it to the same thing to the next person. And that drives me nuts. I just worry that none of us are getting better, and we need better friends, husbands, parents, etc. Oh yeah. And Jeff, you said that you want to be better. And like the thing about it, brother, is that that's awesome that you're recognizing that you want to be better, that you want to strive, that you want to be who you were meant to be. Because the thing about it is that there's people that are where they are, they're miserable, but yet they're satisfied with their misery. Like they want to live with their misery because they think that that's where they're comfortable and that's where they're meant to be. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, nobody's meant to live in misery.
No.
Nobody's meant to be a sad piece of garbage. You because if you get to that point, then that's from your own doing, not from anybody else. You can't blame nobody but yourself when it comes to your misery, because this is the thing that God taught me, that misery and happiness, they got one thing in common, that being a choice. You choose your misery, you choose your happiness, you choose your friends, and you choose your perspective with how you see things within your life. And for me, which I'll be honest with you guys, right after my dad died, my wife can even vouch for this, that yours truly was a miserable son of a bitch,
Oh, you treated me like shit.
which me and her, we nearly got divorced right after my dad died because I was such a prick, because I was so angry at the world, because because I felt like God was punishing me because of the loss of my father. But then my wife, even when I didn't deserve it, she stuck by my side. And through loving me through that, even when I did not deserve it, she was showing me, sweetie, it's okay to be angry, but don't push away the ones that are here for you. And she's done that for me with my dad, with my mom, with my grandmother, now with her brother, which because of what she showed me, now I can give that to her, which I
don't treat you like shit over my brother dying.
no,
And he died at
you
a young
don't.
age.
You don't. So with those experiences, you have to think to yourself, God, what are you trying to teach me and what can I learn from this? So don't just go through something negative and think, well, this is the way that's supposed to be. No, it's not. It's not supposed to be this way. With every single negative thing that happens, God's got a blessing right behind it. God's got a lesson for you to learn. And I'm telling you this right now. When it comes to what I did last time on my show, I feel really bad about it. And God kind of knocked me upside the head saying, you're better than this. You need to man up. You need to apologize and you need to grow up. And that's what I'm doing right now. So which let me tell you this right now. To everybody that wants to run their mouths about me, run them. Because what it boils down to is that you ultimately don't know me. So many of you don't know the real me. You don't. You only know what I choose to what what I choose to show, which is probably about 25% of who I really am. So I'm going to tell you this right now, that for all my enemies, you're more than welcome to come on my show. For all of my friends, you're more than welcome to come on my show. For the ones that are fair weathered, that go from one side to the other, you're more than welcome to come on my show. I have nothing to hold back. I have nothing to hide. And all I want is for peace, love, and understanding, ultimately healing, and for us to reach the potential that God has set out for us to reach. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let's see what Jeff says. I'm going to duck out. I just want to say hey and hope that all we can get on track and better. Brother Jeff, thank you so much for stopping by, man. You are a great example of someone that was man enough to you were man enough to come to me, talk to me, and we squashed our issues because you realized through the actions of other people how extreme and how silly this was getting, and how you don't want to be defined by their behaviors. You want to be defined by who you are. You want to be defined based off how God made you, not what these jagoffs are doing just because you wanted to fit in. And this is the thing, too, for people out there. If the people that you're trying to impress and fit in with, if you're being forced to mold and change who you really are just to fit in,
They're not your friend.
then they're not your friend. They are someone that wants to control you, and they want you to fit in like with what they see as who you should be, not who God sees that you should be. Focus on what God wants you to be. Don't focus on what Joe Schmo says. So I'm just saying, guys, it is all about loving one another, being open, being truthful, being honest, and recognizing, hey, whenever you fuck up,
You fuck up.
you fuck up. But learn from it.
Some people fuck up harder than others.
Well, yeah, so some people do fuck up harder than others. But whenever you fuck up and you make a mistake, recognize that you should be man enough to admit it.
And don't be judgmental towards other people.
Don't be judgmental towards people,
Especially
especially the ones that you don't know, and especially considering there's a bunch of people that want to run their mouths, but yet their records are a hell of a lot worse than
anything you've ever seen.
Anything that my wife's ever done, plus anything I've ever done. So I'm just gonna, but you're not gonna see me threatening to expose any of that, because quite frankly, I'm not going to be pushed to that point no more, because I realized that I fucked up and that I made a mistake. But I want to encourage anybody that if you want to talk to me, I'm here. I'm fair game. I'm not going to run away from it. And we can talk, we can work this shit out. And I really want this to be a positive environment. Woo! For the good, for the bad, for the ugly. Let's work this shit out, guys, because you know what? Life's too short. So, like I said, to everybody that has their disagreements with me, that I forgive you, and that I'm sorry for anybody that I might have hurt, and that goes for Rob. And I just want to say, Rob, that I'm sorry for that show that I did on you. And that I went a little bit too far, and which if it caused you any discomfort, harm, or it just really pissed you off, then I'm sincerely sorry, because the short-term gratification was not worth the long-term bullshit that it caused. So I just want to say, which I am sorry, and which I pray that one day that you can forgive me on that, and that we can move on. And like I said, which I'm not asking to be best friends with you by no means, but I want us to be able to just move on and just stop with this going back and forth. That's all. And hopefully, like with the showdown coming up on August 6th between Rob and John, that it could lead to healing and just understanding and forgiveness, and we can just squash all this bullshit, which is unnecessary, and just move on. And just move freaking on, because you know what? That's what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. Like, we need to move on, and we need to focus on what's important. And you know what? When it comes to things like podcasting, which if you love to podcast, freaking podcast your ass off. Have some fun with it. Which if you love to make graphics, make graphics. If you love to watch wrestling, watch whatever the hell you want. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And for the people that want to run their mouths and claim that they hate wrestling, but yet they want to make fun of people like me and John, and claim because we're marks like we're nerds, but yet you want to brag about going to shows. Come on, it's okay. If you like something, you like something. There's nothing wrong with that. So I just want to say once again that I'm using this episode to just be open, honest, and truthful. I just want this shit to go away, and I want us to all grow up, move on, and just focus on what's important, like within our lives. So once again, to Rob, which I do apologize, and I really want this shit to really subside. I really do. Because me wasting my time talking about this, it's pointless, it's stupid, it's okay, scratch that, which I take that back, which is not pointless, but I really wish that we didn't have to have these conversations over and over and over. No. So I'm just saying, guys, let's start acting like adults. And let's start supporting each other. So let's say that you are on a different podcasting network. You know, support that podcasting network because you know what? We need to grow together. And this is the thing, guys. If we were to support each other and we were to do stuff like the cross promotion, do you realize how much that would help us with things like downloads and with exposure? I'm just saying, guys, that people just want to yammer on and on and on saying, well, which I'm so much better than you and this and that. The other, quite frankly,
Nobody's
does
better than nobody.
nobody's better than anybody. Does it fucking matter, honestly? Like within like the grand scheme of things, the we're talking about a choreographed sport for God's sakes. Just saying. So for the people that want to criticize the retro wrestling revival, fucking criticize it, but realize that ultimately you being critical is going to do nothing to hamper or hinder
Style.
the success that we're going to have going forward. So I'm just going to tell you, you can either jump on
Drum ball.
or you can watch the train go by and
We'll
just
wave
be
at you.
and like beep beep honk honk, and you can completely just be stuck in misery town, or you could go with us to peace and happyville, and we can agree to disagree, we can move on, and we can encourage each other, we can inspire each other, and you know it's just a matter of, guys, it's time to stop, it's time to grow up, it's time to move on. And I just want to say this too, because I was called out for something else too. Because I was talking about records with other people, and I just want to say the individuals that I spoke about, that I will not publicly show nobody's records going forward, and which, as a matter of fact, like the ones that I mentioned, which I didn't even search for. And one more thing too, for the people that want to claim that I got my stuff from Hambone, this is the God honest truth. That I got that information before me and Hambone started talking again. So there's no way in hell. So I just want to let people know we need to be open, honest, and the whole thing with misinformation, it just needs to stop. So, and which going along with being open and with being honest, we need to really call each other out for our bullshit so we can better each other. Okay. Not to call out to tear down, but to call out to lift up, to call out to give a hand. Okay. We need to do this to really help one another because there's a ton of talented people that are just really holding themselves back because they're so consumed with negativity, rage, and anger. And I know for me, yeah, which I know for me that I would be holding myself back and doing myself a disservice by not forgiving and moving on, because I'm not the type of person to hold a grudge or be angry or just be a hateful prick, which I used to be that type, but I'm not anymore.
Kids we are.
What?
Fuck with our kids we are.
Baby, I can't hear you.
People fuck with our kids we are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now if you get my kids involved, now if you get my wife involved, then I will be the most miserable son of a bitch that you've ever came across. So just consider this a warning. That I'm willing to forgive this time when it comes to people threatening my wife's record release, but next time I'm not going to be so nice about it.
Be man enough and come say it to my face.
Well, baby steps, honey, because we know there's a lot of people that aren't man enough to say shit to our faces. Anyways, like I said, which I hope and pray that this could really help people with healing and with knowing that there's more important things to life. And once again, to the people that I've really pissed off and angered, which I do sincerely apologize. And also, I just want to say that I do still have an open door policy. Anybody can come on. And for the people that want to claim that my stuff's been taken down for hate speech,
Shut the fuck up.
just shut the fuck up, because you have no clue what the hell you're talking about. My last show was removed by choice, and it wasn't removed by anything else but choice because I felt bad with what I said and with what I did. So, just saying, guys, know what you're talking about before you talk about it. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be doing a longer episode, a different topic episode coming up. This one's not going to be removed because I hope that people are able to see this, because I want to encourage us to be open, honest, truthful, and we should call each other out for our bullshit, but we should be encouraging each other nonetheless, because honestly, it's life's too short, guys. It really is. So I apologize to the people that I've hurt, and in which I sincerely mean that. And I hope that we can be better, and I hope that we can learn, grow, and show that we can behave like grown adults. So, with that said, I definitely hope for nothing but the best for every single person. And I just want to say to Rob and John that I hope that with what's going to happen on August 6th, that it could lead to um, peace and just you guys squashing whatever beef you have, and just you guys could just be civil towards each other, because I know that you're never going to be best friends again, which I know that for a fact. But I just want to say that I hope it leads to just better understanding of both perspectives and both sides, and just healing ultimately. And one more thing before I go, I just want to say thank you so much to Mr. Richie, Mr. The Real Deal Richie Reardon. Welcome back, brother, to the family. And which I just want to say that you had a kick-ass episode that you did with John, when it came to talking about CM Punk and with Daniel Bryan. And there's some breaking news that happened today, which was with Bray Wyatt, which me and John, like, we're going to address on our show, the retro month in review. And I hope that you guys can join us at 11:30 here on the Retro Wrestling Revival. And for the people on here that have stuck around to watch me, I say thank you so much. Which I definitely hope and pray that you guys have a safe, blessed, joyous, and wonderful day. And if you got to get your last words in, because I know some people do, but by all means do it, because I know there's some people that like to wait till the very last second before I sign off to say something. So
That's where the
yeah, so I'm gonna wait about 15 more seconds, and then I'm gonna go.
You're gonna shut down.
That's right.
I only like those words.
You want to ring my bell?
Ring your bell.
Yeah,
Come
you
here,
can
baby, I'll ring your bell. Come here. Has the camera on me?
No.
There's your bell.
Oh, good Lord, I love those. Okay, well, I guess whatever. But when it comes to the whole comment thing, that surprises me, but it is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, which I just want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight, which I definitely hope and pray that everybody's having a safe, blessed, joyous, and wonderful night, no matter who you are, no matter who you're with, which I hope there's nothing but peace, joy, and happiness. And you know what? Let's grow up. Let's get up, and let's show up and be the men that we were meant to be and that God molded us to be. Because that's what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on the latest edition of Baptized Fire with Brother Martin. And by the way, yours truly got bored the other night, and I started a t-shirt store. So if you want to buy a Baptized Fire t-shirt for shits and giggles $13 actually, which I'm only charging $13 for the shirts, which I think is a pretty damn good deal.
That's cheap.
Yes,
People who live in Myrtle Beach can afford it.
even people that live in Myrtle Beach, they can afford it. But anyways, which if you guys want to check out like my t-shirt store, it is baptizefire125.sellmytees.com. Like like my three most recent designs, they're on there, which I plan on adding some more shirts on there, which I'm going to be doing the King of Stutter style shirt that's coming up within like the next few weeks, and then I'm going to be doing one
King of the boobies.
which I'm going to be with this beautiful mug that says podcasting legend on it.
Oh God.
So I'm just saying, guys, you
Bless
wanted
it.
it, so you're getting it. By God.
Who the hell wants that?
Well, like just people on Twitter.
I would not walk around with your face on my shirt.
What? Seriously, come on.
Oh, you think you're sexy and you
I
know
do it. I do. Hey, with this stutter, with this $75 smile, I mean, by God, I'm a
$75
sex.
smile.
Yes, I am. I'm a sexy bitch.
Are you?
Yes, I am. Anyways, guys,
Anybody wanna know
for
what
the
happened?
podcasting legend, aka the King of Stutter Style, aka Brother Martin, aka
AKA suck my.
okay, she filled in the blanks. You guys have a safe, blessed, joyous, and wonderful night, guys. I love you. Peace.